Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Now, I really love this path. This path is so much fun for champions that throw heavy attacks. You're going to see in the footage coming up, Apocalypse, Crossbones, Archangel, and Doctor Doom, all champions that have a different type of interaction with this that can be really fun and enjoyable. So the path we're going to be talking about, and it's going to be part 1, part 2. Part 1 to this video is that we're going to be talking about this path here. The weapon disarm path on 8.1.1, which I'm nearly done with. I'm leaving one path because of the problems with the VFX around traps, and I've got a Craven to go against. But in any case, this is the path here. So you disarm by doing heavy attacks, and then you get an unarmed phase where you do 600% more damage whilst the node is on disarm. It's great. Or unarmed, sorry. And then it goes into kind of disarm, whatever it is, and just kind of recalculates back in. So you lose that kind of like a moment for the length of time. But defensive defense is the thing to watch out for. Disorient, debuff. I used Crossbones in order to shrug off, King Groot in order to shrug off, and then we've got Apocalypse in order to kind of like shrug it off and not get that. I'm also bringing on this route Archangel. Now, there is a little bit of a mistake I make on this one in that, and we're going to be seeing in a minute, like, inputs are rubbish in Act 8.1 at the moment, and it's something Cabal needs to work on. But let's face it, that cost me my Apocalypse, that cost me my Horseman, that could have been a beneficial champion to then do, I think it's bleed resistance when it comes to going up against Hood in the final fight. But it doesn't matter, because what you're going to see, the footage in this particular video, is the takedown of Hood with Guillotine 2099, who I actually think is a really good option, especially because Caltrops will mean you need a bleed immune champion or a champion that interacts with it, like Ghost or other ones, those are the interaction, or champions that are bleed immune. The final thing is that you can intercept the champion doing 200% more attack rating. This can be beneficial for the degen damage the champion does. I believe it scales up based on that one. Don't quote me on that one, but I'm pretty certain that's the case. But without further ado, let's kind of like get into the paths and see what all the amazing stuff is. Oh, and just before going anywhere, I am regularly updating the Act 8.1 grind guide, which I'm doing, like the exploration guide. I'm working on it now, so it's case like multiple versions will come out of it that will kind of like make sure that it's on point, change some things, add some champion suggestions in, so look out for that. That was posted on the channel a little while ago. But in any case, let's get into the footage and see the fun of the amazing high crit damage and high damage heavy attacks, which are so much fun, and why I really enjoy the story mode content as Kabam are creating it. So let's go. First of all, starting off with Sabretooth and Apocalypse. My Apocalypse is all about, first of all, building up the Horseman synergy. Horseman pre-fight. Not going to mean much difference because, well, a dropped input does mean that I had my Apocalypse wiped out, but you can get to see like the rotation of it and building up very first, and there's a Sauron fight as well, so you can build up and get a maybe second Horseman, possibly, if you're good. Now, parry heavying with this, like first of all, Crossbones will shrug off the Disorient. That's one of the tactics that I use with this. King Groot's in order to do exactly the same, which you can see shrugged off right there. It was purified. And other champions like Misty Knight, for example, you see there was like 48, 50k. Like the heavy attack is pretty nice. Again, another huge heavy attack right there. Again, another huge heavy attack. It's just beautiful. I did lose my Crossbones in that fight, but you're going to see something amazing. Boom. What's that? An 80,000 damage heavy attack. That is what I'm talking about right there. A Doom Slap. Went a basic kind of number on that one, a basic roll, but you're gonna see in a second. We're gonna rewind it in a second. Like, did you see that? That's right. We're gonna replay it. That was a 99,000 damage heavy attack. That was so darn nice to see. Now we're gonna see this in slow mo now. Quick slow. Well, that's a little bit more of a slow mo. You've seen it again. In any case, Archangel is another great champion. Which, as I said, I wanted to Horseman for the Hood fight at the end, or kind of early on. Things happen. Ultimately things happen, but look, the extent of damage, I've recently awakened my 6-star Archangel, and I'm very happy with what I'm seeing damage wise, and probably going to be rank 4ing him at some stage, possibly, I don't know. Rank 3 at the moment, he's fine, so I don't know, I think it might be someone else. But look at that damage, look at that ticks of damage. Is that 6k a time? Getting back in again, easy W, and we move on to the Guillotine 2099 versus Hood. Now I did, again, input issues are causing me a bit of a nuisance, but I decided to kind of like, go back to more of a kind of like a parry heavy type, kind of like, not parry heavy, but kind of parry and then kind of in again I'm going to see some intercepts towards the end, especially as I go over the 100 mark, which that was the main thing. Like, I needed to play very cautiously after having like a bit rocking from the champion on inputs. I went kind of like down to 35%, and I wasn't happy about that. So I decided to change the way I played. I played a little bit more cautiously. Got the combo shielding in play because I just thought that's going to be helpful as well. And now we can start getting a bit of kind of like aggressive and a bit more confident with the rotations. I don't want to go too close to the SP2 because that again is a big concern. So I was kind of thinking like, okay, do we SP1 rotate or do we do like a couple of SP2s and things? And that's really it. Just kind of like just cautious play. But at the same time, hey, if people say it's stupid but it works, then guess what? It's not stupid. In any case, for this one, intercepting would be better and more advantageous. As you can see right there, there's an intercept, and there's the Fury passive that's come up, and I think that's boosted up my degens for that moment in time. But you've got to be very careful not to throw the champion into an SP2 situation. It just makes zero sense to kind of do that when you want to do more of a kind of a better method or methodology of rotation. You want to be safe, and that's the thing. Cautious, but getting a W is very different from being kind of like risk to reward. SP1 rotation, take that power, and then jobs are good, and just kind of like the last little bits of health with a huge amount of degen and as well the damage that I'm doing. It's lovely, an absolutely lovely finish there to that fight. Yeah, so that is the path in particular. And I got a lot of enjoyment from this particular path, and you know, the stuff that kind of like happens with it. And I just thought I'd share it. So that was that. No revives on that particular route. It was a lot of fun, very enjoyable. And if you want to use some of the champions, you know, recommend them. I recommend some of the champions I used in that particular team. And that has been the video. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you're having a good one. Hope your Act 8.1 grind is going relatively well. I think that's going to be it for today when it comes to Act 8.1, little kind of videos like this. And there may be a load more tomorrow, hopefully, and over the next couple of days. Cheers, everybody. Have a good time, whatever you're doing.